So you'll see like a little pop-up so you can just click on OK. Thank you so much for having me. I had a pleasure of meeting Magnolia at an afternoon tea in her community. Everybody was really pretty dressed up, and I just give them a little bit of a quick 10-minute tidbit on how do we declutter and not lose our mind and also make our lives easier. So just a little bit about me. I have been a real estate agent with a small and mighty team for the last 15 years. We serve most of the clients in the state of New Jersey and also part of Pennsylvania as well. And I have been teaching workshops as a preferred vendor for many county libraries, as well as a preferred speaker for the Habitat of Humanity for the last 5 years. I truly love sharing information, make it as simple as possible, anything that relates to real estate as well as to our community. So for the last 5 years, I've done this before COVID. It was all in person. During COVID, of course, it was all on Zoom. And now I do this on Zoom and in person as well, pretty much, wherever people need me, I'm more than happy to contribute. And it's always absolutely free of charge because that's how I contribute to the community. So this is what I want to share with you a little bit about me. I'm going to share my screen now, and don't feverishly write anything down because I'm going to forward you a copy of this workbook so you have it, and you're welcome to use it as a guide when you do decide to do some changes and maybe do some decluttering, whether it's in your home or a car or a shed. You can just kind of use that and go along. So let me share my screen with you and we will jump in. Okay, just let me know you can see my screen without any issues.
I do, I see it.
All right, great. We also have Shondlin Thomas joining us in a few minutes, Magnolia, just so you know.
That's fine. Thank you. That's another niece.
All right, great. Well, we'll just keep going. And if anybody else pops in, I'm just going to let them in, okay? Because they're not going to miss anything because we are having this recorded. So everybody, I hope that you don't look like this crazy lady because we're talking about stuff in our lives. But if you do, I promise you by the end that I'm done, I think I'm going to give you some information to help you understand that decluttering does not have to be super challenging and stressful, but we can definitely make it manageable and hopefully as stress-free as possible. So I already mentioned a little bit about what I do and how we are contributors to the community. We do help clients move pretty much anywhere in the United States and Canada. As you can imagine, making a move is one of life's top 10 stressors. And we do have a complete move solution where we help out pretty much with anything from start to finish. And we also have our concierge service where we are your yellow pages, if you think about it, because the actual book has gotten really, really smaller and smaller. And what we do is if you need any recommendations for contractors or for professionals like an attorney or accountant or financial planner, anyone that you can think of to help you make your life easier and help you take care of your home, we're here to help you and give you some suggestions with those people that we have used personally and our clients have used as well. So this concierge service is absolutely free of charge to you. I am here. Magnolia knows I actually pick up my phone and I talk to each and every one of you. And I also, of course, have an assistant to help and get all of this managed. So that's a little bit about me. So let's jump in and actually talk about decluttering and why we're doing that. I know that we've seen everything to being talked about declutter on social media, on internet, and a lot of influencers are saying how cool and hip it is. And I'm here to tell you that it's not just that. Okay, a lot of us just don't know where to start. Of course, the stuff grows over time if we leave it alone. And if you think about it, mail, which is one of the biggest culprits, I think you'll agree with me, comes to our house 6 days a week, like clockwork, right? Unless it's Sunday or a holiday, right? We talked a little bit about kids and grandkids. I have 2 teenagers who are in high school, and I think it's their mission in life to bring more stuff in the house for me to clean. So That's just the way of life. So every day I can tell you to make my life easier, and that's one of the little tips that I'm going to share with you is that every day I'll walk around, and if I see something that's out of place, I'm going to grab it. If I'm on my way upstairs to a bedroom or if I'm coming downstairs. So if you are, the other statistic I want to share with you is that we all have stuff, and probably 80% of it we rarely use. So if you think about, look around you and think about the stuff that you use on a regular basis, that applies to the clothes that we wear, to the kind of food that we eat. You know, we're all creatures of habit. So what are we doing, and why do we still have the 80%, right? That's a pretty big number. So a lot of the times we just don't know where to start. What are we keeping, especially paperwork, like how long we're going to keep it. We're afraid to get rid of it. So I'm going to give you some tips today that I hopefully will ease your mind about some of those things. The other important thing that I just want to share with you is the fact that clutter overall is not just, it's just stuff that just sits there, but it truly does affect us. And it has been proven in many studies that it affects us on a emotional as well as a physical level. If you think about it, it's the clutter, it weighs you down. It can be absolutely source of stress, depression, health issues. Think about if you're having a hard time sleeping, kind of mentally walk through your bedroom. Do you have a lot of stuff there? You may not realize, but that stuff can be a culprit of preventing you from getting a good night's sleep. Family problems
Yes.
and home disrepair. I see it all the time where things kind of get buried under our clutter and stuff. And then, you know, critters love to get into and bury themselves. Then at some point, a little problem goes to a big problem, and then we don't realize it because it's been covered up. So and on the emotional level, when you think about stuff, a lot of the times our energy kind of gets drained. So when you think about your closet full of stuff, or maybe your basement, just think about how your whole mood just sours. And that's that emotional, you know, weight that the clutter has on us. So I can tell you that it's not just something hip to do based on what the social media tells us. I think it's critical for us to do the big projects, to declutter and then maintain it, because it's just good for our health on many, many levels. So that's why we're talking about declutter. And that's kind of a couple of things that I'm going to ask you to take away today. So we're going to jump right in and get started. I'm going to just kind of tell you how do we start? I think that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people they're like, Olga, I just don't know where to start. Like, I'm looking around my whole house. I have something in every room. Like, what do I do? So we're going to kind of take a deep breath, and this is what we're going to do. Just like all of you set up an appointment, or you have a plan where you go to church, or you go to a convention or a conference or a doctor's appointment, you're going to set up an appointment with yourself to have a declutter session. That's going to be your homework for today. If you thought that you would walk away with nothing, guess what? You're going to with homework today. So, but that's the whole point. I want you to think about this as not something that is you have to do, but something for you to look forward to, because it's truly going to make a difference in your mood as well as in your physical well-being. So 1 hour appointment time, you're going to look in your calendar and you're going to schedule it with yourself. So if you have a job or if you work, think about your next available first full day off and schedule it for first thing in the morning, before you get boggled down with errands and running around and doing things. So maybe Saturday morning is an example. Okay, so 1 hour, and you're going to put it on the calendar, you're going to put it in your book, and that is it. You're going to honor it, because this is something that you're doing for yourself. And having an appointment to do something good for yourself is just as important as doing something else for other people. Okay, so for this appointment, I'm going to ask you to put your phone away on silent. You're going to have to avoid distractions. You're going to be fully present and focused, because we want you to be successful in this 1 hour time. You are going to need a timer. So you can't use your phone, because our phone is the biggest distractor that we have. So use like a kitchen timer, or you can use it on your stove or a microwave. Right? So because those are just simple timers, because you're going to set that timer, and then you're going to focus and work for 1 hour, because that is what we're doing. Okay. Next, Any other excuses that you might have not to do it, I'm going to take them all away today, ladies. I guarantee it. Okay. So the next thing is, the good thing about declutter, I have something to share with you, a secret, is when you declutter, you actually exercise, and there's a possibility that you might
Okay.
break, right? Exactly. Thumbs up, everybody. So how do we make it easier on ourselves? When you're decluttering, you need to change it to comfortable clothing. Yoga pants. Don't wear jeans because you're going to be running around. You're going to be bending, standing up, getting down. You're going to work up some sweat. So wear some comfortable clothes. Next, before you start, have breakfast if you're doing it in the morning, or get something to eat, and make sure you have a bottle of water because you're going to work up some appetite, and we want to make sure that we don't have any distractions. Okay. And next, put on some music. Light a candle, open a window, whatever it is that makes you happy and gets you all energized. So choose what that is that appeals to you. Okay. And the final item that I want you to have is a lot of people who attend my workshops know that I'm a big believer in notebooks, not something writing on your phone, but a physical notebook, because it's also been proven when you take a pen and you put it to paper, your brain is like, oh, good, I don't have to now remember it and constantly think about it. I am now committing it to paper. Right. So your notebook is going to be there for you to jot down your notes, your reminders, your plans, maybe where you left off, where you're going. If you found something that maybe you need to give to your family, your grandkids, you're going to write it down, and you're going to tell yourself, okay, well, next time I see them, I'm giving myself 2 weeks, because you need to give yourself a deadline to accomplish it. I'm going to give it to them. If they don't come get this stuff by then, I'm going to donate it. Okay. So you need to give yourself parameters and boundaries, and make sure that your loved ones or your friends or whoever you think about understand what you're asking them to do, and they're going to respect it as well. Okay. If you want to make it fun, you can have a notebook dedicated just to decluttering if you want, depending on kind of like the journey you're taking and how big of a project that you're going to take on. So think about it that way. So as I already mentioned to you, decluttering does not have to be a drag and something that you kind of literally take your, your shirt from behind and drag yourself to it. You can absolutely make it fun. Absolutely. So pick one of these things that I have found on the internet and decide what makes sense to you. So let's say that for 1 hour, you're going to focus on one room. If you don't know which room to start, ask yourself which one is your favorite room in your space, and start with that, because that's going to make you even happier, because you're starting with the room that you have a preference, whether it's a den or your bedroom or your office or kitchen. Think about it that way. And then you're going to say, okay, I'm going to make a 12-12-12 challenge. Pick a number. It doesn't have to be 12. And that 1 hour, you're going to take so many items to throw away, so many to donate, and then so many of them to put back in their place. If you want to have a more structured calendar, because it depends on your personality, you can do this 30-day declutter challenge, which is in the little purple frame in the bottom of the screen, where every day for 30 days, it's going to tell you to do something. Like on day 9, you're going to clean out your wallet. On day 20, you're going to empty another junk drawer. Okay. And I can send this to you because I have it as a PDF if you want me to. All right. Or you
Yeah, I
can
need it.
you can do it somewhere, some other way, right? Because you can say, if I'm going to start in the kitchen, I'm just going to focus on and do one cabinet. That 1 hour, I'm going to focus on just one cabinet. So decide what's going to make you happy, what feels right to you, and what makes sense to you. And it's going to get you excited for your first appointment. Okay. So for your plan, here's what I don't want you guys to do. I don't want you to think, well, if I'm not ready and I don't have any of this, I'm just not going to do it. No, there's really nothing that you need to plan. And this is not some kind of elaborate scheme. You're not planning a surprise 50th birthday party for anyone. It's not like that. You're planning for your appointment, and you really need to have the most important things are really going to be a trash and a recycle can. Those are the number one thing. If you have some storage bins that you can use for sorting, that would be great, but you don't have to have them. If you don't have storage bins, you can use trash bags. If you don't have trash bags, you can use the 4 corners in the room. Every single room has a corner. There's 4 of them, right? So
Right.
you can use a corner in each room. And if you have post-it labels, that's great in different colors, because that way you can kind of label the corner that you're working on, or the storage bin, or the trash bag. And really what we're looking for is just a couple of piles. Pile 1 is you're going to keep, pile number 2 is going to be donated. Pile 3, give yourself grace and have an undecided pile. It's okay. We're going to have a throwaway pile and a pile to sell if you want to go that route. Now, ladies, it's not that after 1 hour, you're going to have everything in the undecided pile. No, that doesn't work like that. The goal is for you by the end of your first 1 hour is to have something in each corner of the room, or in each of the storage bins, or in each trash bag, right? So that is the goal, so that way you can see the progress that you made. And if after 1 hour you're not going to be totally done, that's okay too, because I want you to think about the fact that number 1, you got started. That is the most important thing. And number 2 important thing is the fact that you made progress, right? Those are the 2 things that I want you to keep in mind. Okay. So when you're going through the stuff and you know the timer is tinkering, I want you to keep a couple of things in mind. If you're picking up something, I want you to trust your judgment and your intuition. If this item brings you joy, makes you happy, you definitely want to keep it, you use it, then we're going to put it in our keep pile. If there's stuff that you look at and say, I didn't even know I had this, or I haven't used it in a couple of years, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, then just trust your judgment and put it in the appropriate pile that is not to keep. Okay. And then once you're going to stay focused for your 1 hour, you're just going to keep on going. Slow and steady pace beats everything else. You're making progress. That's the most important thing. And when that 1 hour is up, you're going to stop. You're going to pat yourself on the back. And then you're going to take that notebook and you're going to jot down and say, okay, this is what I was accomplishing. My day 1 was great. This is where I started. This is where I ended up. This is where I put aside for things that I need to maybe give away. This is the bag that I need to talk to my family and relatives about. And just kind of jot down what you accomplished. Okay. What I suggest to you is that while you're kind of in the spirit of all of this and you have that energy, if you have a full bag of donations, you take that bag right to your car. You don't keep it in the house. It's going back into your car. And then when you're on your way and you pass Salvation Army or Restore or another kind of Goodwill store, you're going to drop off that bag right then and there. So it kind of keeps the momentum going. Okay. So let's jump right in and talk about a couple of things that you can do in each room of your home. And you know what? That applies whether you're currently homeowner or you are renting. You can have these things and have your space make sense to you. So this is why I mentioned to you that I'm going to send this workbook to you, because I want you to use it as a guide. There's a lot of information that is packed in here. And depending on what kind of decluttering journey you are on, then you just pick and choose which room you want to work with. Now, I think all of you will agree with me that the goal is not for us not to declutter and do this on a regular basis every 3 months, but do this hard project now 1 time and then set up the systems so that way you can maintain this to make your life easier as you move on and move forward, right? The goal is not to get boggled down with stuff every 3 to 6 months and just come back and do it again over and over. I don't think any of us has the time or the energy, and there's really no need for it. So what I'm inviting you and encouraging you to do is to set up the systems and to invest in products that are going to help you maintain the order and the peace of mind in the space that you're planning on clearing out. So if we were to start in the kitchen, I have some pictures and ideas here for you. So number 1, think about your space, whether it's a kitchen or another room in your home. And I want you to truly utilize every single space and airspace that you have, whether it's a door, whether it's the space in your vanity cabinet under your sink. There are tons of different kind of organizers that you can purchase and invest in that will help you use all the spaces that you have. All of the things that I have listed here for you, you can purchase on Amazon. You can run over to Walmart, Home Depot, and Lowe's and buy it. Okay, and all of these things are inexpensive, but they are truly the systems that you can invest in to help you and make your life easier. And I think all of us will agree, anything that makes your lives easier, I'll take, right? There you go.
Yes.
So in the kitchen, I suggest to you is just focus on one drawer, one cabinet at a time. Don't think that you're going to accomplish the whole kitchen in one sitting. It's just not going to happen. So then don't set yourself up for that. To give yourself the grace and the expectation that you're just going to tackle what you can, and then you're going to set up another appointment and you're just going to come back to it. Okay. Don't forget to also focus on your refrigerator. I would suggest you cleaning it out completely, throw away the expired food, kind of decide also where things are going to go. If you want, label them for yourself and for your family members. So that way you have the same ketchup sitting in the same spot. You don't have 4 different ketchup bottles because they kind of get shoved everywhere.
Yes.
Okay. And just kind of say, okay, the meat is going to go in the bottom shelf. The drinks are going to be on the doors. Condiments are going to go somewhere else. But just think about using your refrigerator to organize as well. This way you can also save money on food, because when you start to run low on something, then you can write it down on your grocery list. I keep a notepad on my refrigerator. Okay. Use clear glass and plastic storage containers so you can see right through them. My favorite glass storage containers are like ragu and pickle jars. I clean them out. If you want to make them pretty, the top, so it doesn't say plastic pickles on it, you can just paint them. You can buy a little, jar of your favorite color, just paint the lid. That's what I have done. But those glass jars are really great for storage, and they're free because you already paid for the food. So instead of recycling them, think about how you can use those things as well. And then also, as you're going through all your stuff, think about truly how many cups and serving utensils do you really need? And also, it's time for you guys to look at inside your cups and see if they're cracked, if they're chipped. Some of your plastic and wood utensils are starting to show wear and tear, because we don't want to eat those pieces when we're cooking, right? Think about it. This is the stuff that you use every day, 3-4 times a day. Okay. Also, I see it all the time in homes. How many items do you use once a year or even less? Do you have an ice cream maker or a popcorn maker or something else that you bought for one event or the other, and now it sits as a parade in your pantry or your basement? Because that's what I see it all the time. And then you're like, well, I don't know if I will ever need this, and so forth. So I'm not asking you to get rid of all of them. I just want you to intentionally look at it and say, do I really truly need it? Am I going to use it? Or could it be somebody or my family members or friends can use it? Can I donate it? So think about those things. I'm a big fan of using like they're like 4-in-1 oven. Like I love those products that you can use for multiple uses. For example, I love my Instapot because I can use it to steam, and I can use it to slow cook, and I can use it for a bunch of other functions because it's like a multifunction machine. I love that. And I also have my KitchenAid mixer that I have sitting on top of my kitchen counter, and that's it. And then I have 2 other appliances that I probably should get rid of. And that's it. That's all I have. I don't have anything else. So think about those things as well. And then kind of, if you want to get some ideas on how you can store things, whether it's a kitchen or another room, I have some systems here for you to see what you can do. So I want your creative juices going to kind of say, okay, how am I going to maximize my own space? Okay. So same thing with bathrooms. Okay, number 1, I want you to look through the stuff that you currently have. We are all guilty of buying pretty packaging and, oh my God, that bottle looks so cute. And I totally get it. But it's even more important when the stuff is not refrigerated. That means it has chemicals in it. Who knows which is the largest organ in our body?
The largest.
The largest organ in our body?
It can't be the lungs.
Our skin.
That's right. That's right. kudos to whoever said the skin. It is the largest organ in our body. So whenever we put
Thank you,
lotions and
Madam
potions and powders on our skin, all of that gets absorbed into our body. So that means that we're going to respect our body, because here's what I can tell you, ladies. If you would like to buy another house, if you want to get a vacation home, if you want to downsize or upsize from your own home, I am here to tell you I can help you. We can create a plan and make it happen. But the body that we were born into is the only one we got, right? That is our only home that we have. So I want you to think about what you put on it and what you put in it, because that's all we got. So we got to take care of our body. So lotions and potions that are older than 1 year, you need to throw away, because that's what it's the chemicals that keep it looking good and smelling fresh. And over a year old, that stuff just does not, it's not just good for you anymore. So my suggestion to you is don't buy big jugs of lotion because you feel bad throwing it away because it's still like halfway full. I started buying smaller things. They might be more expensive, but what I do is I use it up, and then every 6 months I buy myself a fresh bottle. Okay. So just think about it this way in terms of something that you're using especially for your body to make sure that it's good for you. Okay. Setting up a plan for your morning and evening routine is going to help you stay organized. So again, use that same clear container. Everything that you do every day in the morning, you put in one area, and then the same thing for the evening. Then the plastic bins are great for that. And also remember, replacing your makeup every 6 months is really important. I make it simple for you so that way you don't overthink it. Around Christmas time, December, January, there's lots of specials and sales that are happening. So this is the opportunity for you to refresh your makeup and maybe buy some interesting extra pieces. And then coming in July, which is what we have coming up in another month, is the time for you to refresh again. So every 6 months, you need to do a refresh on your makeup. Again, it's something that goes on our skin on a regular basis. Okay. All right, let's head into the bedrooms. We already talked a little bit about that it does take energy for the brain to ignore the clutter. So if you're not sleeping well, it could be because of the stuff that you have in your bedroom that's preventing you from getting a good night's rest. So in the bedroom, you know where we're heading right now? In our closets. In our closets. Yes, if you thought I was going to avoid talking about it, nope, it's not going to happen.
That closet.
It is. So I'm going to give you grace. Don't worry. If you haven't worn something for 2 years, okay, for 2 years, and I want you to go into your closet and look at the stuff that you have, because I guarantee you 80% of the stuff you have hanging in there, you probably haven't touched in a while. Right? We are creatures of habit. We have our like wardrobe, capsule wardrobe, and that's what we wear. And that's that, right? So something that you haven't worn in 2 years, give yourself an opportunity to get rid of it and donate it. Okay, you can put a bin in your closet and put stuff in there. When it gets full, then you take it to donation. If you have stuff that is stained and torn in bad shape, get rid of it. If there's a stuff that you don't like, or if you're waiting to lose weight or to gain weight and you're going to say, I'm going to wear it when that's going to happen, please don't, because you know what? Life still goes on. And you know what? At that time, when you do lose that weight, because that is your game plan, then you're going to give yourself some grace and you're going to go and buy a few really nice pieces for the season that it is in that time. Okay. So don't wait for your stuff. Don't let your stuff wait for you. Okay. And also, as you know, manufacturers create new pieces. And also, I don't know about you guys, but I know that my own personal tastes have changed over the years, right? I like some timeless pieces now, but maybe I wasn't like that 10 years ago. So it really does not make sense for you to keep clothes. If you want to have some timeless pieces, that by all means, but the rest of the stuff, just let it go. It's really not worth it. In terms of organization, keep it very simple. You can still use the same plastic totes. And then you can also use some of these cubes that I have, like organizers that you can use, and just to kind of keep it very simple. Okay. It's easy for you to use like totes and clear things, because you can see right through them if they're sitting on the shelf. Okay. And here are some other suggestions for you that I have that you can kind of take a look if you are trying to coordinate and do some refresh in your bedroom. Very simple things. The only thing I want to mention here is that if you do want to use every nook and cranny in your closets, if you live in an older home, older homes have very small closets.
Mhm.
All right. If you are renting, probably small closets. So some of these wardrobes are great. You can find them a lot of times at IKEA. And but think about the space you currently have and how can you use it better? That is the goal. Okay. So I have some ideas here for you that you can kind of take a look. All right. If you have a garage in the basement, again, using clear totes, and you organize things by the season or hobby, or if you have decorations, put them by the season. Everything should be in clear totes just to make sure that it's still protected. Okay. And also I encourage you to use your ceiling, not just your wall space, to put things away. I love these shelves that you can actually mount to your ceiling. And you can truly take stuff off the floor. And then you can also add hooks where you can hang things and just put them on there. And I love these organizers that you can use in the garage, in the basement, in your shed, where you can put all of your gardening tools if you garden right on the wall. So the less stuff you keep on the floor, the better it is. Living room and family rooms, just some suggestions here for you. Again, if this is the place where you relax and kind of just, rewind after a long week or after a long day, go through your books in your bookshelves, recycle stuff, most of it, or you can donate it to the library. Go through your cords, look at your pillows and blankets. If you have furry babies, they love to lay like humans. They probably use more blankets and pillows than we do. So if they're kind of, ratty and tatty, then maybe it's time to get some fresh items. So I have some suggestions here for you in terms of storage as well. All right, so this is an important slide, and I do recommend that when you do get a copy of the workbook, you either print this out, or if you want, I can print and mail it to you. But one of the biggest questions I get is, Olga, how long should I keep papers, different papers? Because a lot of the times people are afraid to throw away bills or statements or
Yes.
things like that, because they're like, I just don't know if I'm ever going to need it, right? And that uncertainty is what keeps us from doing it. So this is your guide for how long you need to keep stuff. And the most important ones are the two bottom points. The first one is called keep forever, and the last one is always shred. Okay, so keep forever is where I recommend that you put either in the colorful tote, and better yet, you should invest in a safe. You can buy a fireproof safe at Home Depot, Lowe's. I recently saw it at Costco. It's not expensive at all. Mine actually sits on a shelf in my bedroom closet. But think about the documents that you have accumulated throughout your lifetime that are super important. They're either cannot be replaced or would be very difficult to replace. And those are the things that you should keep in your safe. So think about your birth and death certificates, divorce decrees, education records, your legal documents, military veteran records, stocks, bonds, certificates. Those are the things that are absolute must for you to keep safe. Because if you ever, God forbid, if something ever happened to your living space, you had to go in and replace those things. Some of it are irreplaceable, and it's a lot to worry about. Okay. And always shred anything that has your signature, account number, social security number. If you are in doubt, go ahead and shred it. All right. So that's an important paper. And, in terms of how do we organize things, I have some tips here for you, depending on what you keep and how you kind of get things organized, because as I already mentioned, paper does come in our way. It's up to you. I have some suggestions here for you in terms of if you get a lot of mail, if you like to keep papers, if you don't. I have some suggestions here for you, but also, don't forget that when the mail comes in, make it simple for yourself. Here's the system that I use. 3 things, that's it. One is the pile of mail I need to go through. The second one is a pile of stuff for me to shred. And that's it. So 2. That's it. Don't give yourself any other excuse. And oh, okay. And then, you know, if the grocery flyers come in, they go into my basket where my grocery stuff is, and that's it. And I go through it on a regular basis. That's it. Don't give yourself another pile to think about. You have one pile to go through. And once that pile gets, you know, you go through it, I scan it. And then some of it gets actually shredded, and some of it I do keep for a year. And then after, you know, kind of the end of the year and the tax season passes, I shred it as well. So that's kind of how I handle things. So decide on what makes sense to you, because all of our personal and financial circumstances are different. All right, so now let's talk about the stuff that we are kind of donating and so forth. So throwing away, here is your general guide on the things that, how do we get rid of stuff? The two things that I want you to take away is using your regular trash and recycle days. It's little by little, you go into trash and recycle stuff. A lot of the townships do have bulk day pickups, so take advantage of those. And then I also have some other suggestions here for you as well. So here's, if you really wanted to do some instant decluttering, right? So here's a little fun thing here again. I have a list of 50 things to throw away for instant clutter. How many of us have socks with holes? Socks that
The
don't
ones
match.
I walk in.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, they're called holy. My husband calls them holy socks, or they have like ventilation in the summertime. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like, whatever, however you want to make it happen. But this is another quick list. If you just like, okay, I don't know where to start, why don't you use this list? So just another fun thing to do. Now, another one that I know a lot of us having a hard time are the things that get passed down to us from families. Well, a lot of the times we get things that we keep from our parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles. And I have some suggestions here for you in terms of keeping the keepsakes, keeping some things, creating collages, and then taking pictures of the other things, and then having the family also pick a few pieces. But I seriously doubt that your family member would want you to keep as many things as you have that get you all boggled down, where you are preventing yourself from creating your own memories. Okay, so just remind yourself that you're not casting the memories and heirlooms aside. What you're doing is you're creating breathing room in your current life and freeing yourself of extra weight, and also recognizing that what's most important is you happening right now, new memories that you're creating as a living being, and not having boxes in your attic. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And then if you're looking for some ideas, I have here for you for tips for like schoolwork and projects from your kids and grandkids to display. I have some suggestions here as well for you, depending on where you are in your life's journey. And if you do want to do some selling and donating of things, you can always do the old-fashioned way of hosting a garage sale, or maybe hiring an estate sale company. Or another great way, easy way of doing it is if you're on social media, if you have some apps, you can sell stuff on eBay. There are apps called OfferUp and Lego and Oodle. You can sell things. I personally really like Facebook Marketplace. If you're on Facebook, very easy to post and sell, and people usually will come to your porch and you don't even have to be there, and they'll pick it up and leave you cash. And of course, I have some options here as well. So how do we stay clutter free? I think that's what we also want to talk about, right? The idea is that we do the big declutter one time, and then we want to maintain our beautifully created space. Is number one, don't put it down, but put it away, right? And again, it's not always going to happen. You know, sometimes towards the end of the week, I look around, I'm like, okay, the stuff has accumulated, but just don't let it get really bad. Okay, schedule a few times a year to donate household items that you may no longer use or need. Keep a donation box in the house and the garage. I do that. I put stuff in bags, and then I put it in front of my front door, and then I throw it in my car, because I go by Salvation Army and Goodwill all the time. And if I am on my way home and the donation place is right there, I just swing in. Even if it's just a couple items, I take them out of my house. Okay. One in, one out rule. If you want to be really strict, if you're going to buy a shirt or you buy a piece of clothing, you tell yourself, I have to donate one. I have to take one out of my closet if I want to put one in. okay? And having a paperwork system is extremely important to keep you organized with your finances as well. So here's your action plan. I gave you some food for thought, I hope, with this workbook here and this workshop. So the first thing I want you to do when you're getting started is kind of like you're thinking about your own plan on what am I going to do, is use your notebook to jot down your thoughts. What's bothering you? Where do you want to do? If you have a time frame in mind, like especially if somebody who is moving, right, who is selling or buying and making a move because they're on a definite time crunch. If you need to ask for help, I know some clients of mine can't do it because they're too distracted by all the stuff, so they have hired an organizer to help them stay focused. If that is something that you need, that's part of that concierge service. Just you can always let me know. If you have a deadline, when do you want to be done by and why? Some people work better when there's the time frame and the deadline involved. Okay. Painter's tape, you can see the colorful options that they have now is great if you want to mark items. Like if you're not sure, but what I can always tell you that when somebody's downsizing, I tell them to start with furniture first, because the biggest pieces and the furniture always takes the longest to get rid of. So if you want to use different colors, just designate for green, I'm keeping, for red, it's going. Right? Or yellow could be, I need to ask family members, because you can write on the masking tape and it's easy to peel on and off. Okay. And then your next piece of homework from today is for you to set the date and time for that appointment. Your first appointment, when is it happening? It is Friday night. If you really want to be super optimistic, that will be tomorrow morning, ladies. Tomorrow is Saturday. But again, it's up to you, right? You are in control of your own declutter journey. And I invite you to use this handy room by room guide from this workshop to help you. And the last page is just my contact information. If you want to talk to me in private, if you want to pick my brain, if you would like to ask me questions or you need something, this is my phone number. My email is here. If you want to jump in and join some of our other workshops that we do on Zoom, you are welcome to do it anytime. And all our workshops also get recorded. I have 2 different YouTube channels that you can peruse at your leisure on the couch and take a look at some other information. We do a workshop probably once a week at least. So I have some things that are planned out now for the whole summer. And if you want to join me on social media, most of the time I am hanging out on Facebook. So that's what I want to share with you today. I hope that I didn't overwhelm you. My goal is to understand that this is a journey. Everybody has a different journey. So pick something that makes sense to you and just do it 1 hour at a time, 1 appointment with yourself at a time. Magnolia, that was my spiel.
Well, listen, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You really gave a detailed breakdown of where we are, how we can get out of it, and the reasons why. Because I like the reason you gave. Emotionally, when you're in a cluttered space, it can cause a whole bunch of trouble. I just recently updated our kitchen, and I was blessed to be able to buy new furniture. The darker furniture was beginning to wear on me emotionally. I just hated walking through the room looking at the dark furniture. It was cute in the beginning, but once I retired and I was home every day just looking at it, it really put a whipping on me. So I have decluttered a whole lot of stuff. Now I got to get back in that garage and get busy again, but I have decluttered, I have donated, and I feel good just walking from the kitchen to the family room and even to the bedroom. Even had the floors redone. They sand them down and resurface them and everything. And I'm feeling real good about it. And I'm determined no more of that clutter in the kitchen. I gave away some kitchen tools and all that stuff, and I feel real good about it. Real good. So you gave some real key points.
Very good.
And I know other people want to have a few comments and got a few questions. And so I'm just gonna let it go there. Now, one of the things that I find getting rid of is large furniture. because it was difficult getting rid of the old family room furniture. And listen, the new furniture was delivered today, and I didn't get a commitment to donate from someone that would come and pick it up until yesterday. That's just how close we cut that. I didn't want to go in the garage and have that to worry about. But we did get a place that I could donate it to, and I was very happy about that. It would be going to a family rather than being resold. So I gave it all away. Sofa, chair, love seat, end table, coffee table, and even the centerpiece that used to sit on it. Even the lamps I gave away. I just forgot about what I paid for all that stuff, and I just gave it away. And I feel much better for that. So I know other people have some comments, and thank you guys for just joining. I mean, just thank you. And I do want you to tell other people about this. Do that. So anybody else with questions or comments?
Well, I'm Miss Olga St. Pierre. I'm guilty only because I buy stuff on sale. And I do have stuff in my closet I have not worn. I'm guilty of that, but I always say, oh, I'm gonna wear it eventually. And my premise is, with the ministers' wives, we always wearing white, we always wearing green. So, but I'm guilty, but I have to do better. I just really, I have to do better. But that's my, yeah, but I can't, I had to laugh when I saw those racks you had for the laundry room. I have about, let me see, I have 2 in one bedroom, 2 in another one, and then 2 downstairs in the basement. So and in the attic. So I'm bad. I'm bad.
You know,
I'm
the
bad.
more space we have, it's like,
Yes.
we as humans, we're like, wait, we need to fill the space. The space.
And that's, I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I'm
This
guilty.
is why I love it. I don't have a basement. I only
Oh.
have the attic, and hauling stuff up and down on the stairs. I'm like, that's not
Oh
happening.
yeah. Yeah. Tell me about it. And I have arthritis, so that's not good. But attic and basement, oh yeah. So but yeah, I got to do better. This was excellent though. Yeah. Declutter. But now, what's the difference between clutter and hoarding? Because my kids say I'm a hoarder, and I don't think I am. No, I've seen those TV shows, and I'm not that bad. You don't have to climb over stuff to get to me. Sometimes it's not easy to get to, but they say I'm a hoarder. I said, I don't think I'm a hoarder. No,
hoarding is more, it's actually mental illness.
Yes.
You don't realize that it's bad for you on levels. And hoarding is where you have a path to get in between things.
Yeah, no, I'm not a hoarder, so I'm not a hoarder. You can make a straight path to anything in my house, so I'm good. But this was and you said you're going to email us the, okay, yeah, I'm printed out, and I'm gonna start with my hour and see where I go from there.
The biggest thing I think I encourage you to do is to start, right?
Yes.
Just schedule appointments for your medicals every 6 months, or you go get your teeth cleaned every 6 months.
Yeah, every 6 months. You're right.
This is just as important for your own well-being, especially because it's around us. So that's how you need to approach it.
It's very good.
Magnolia, are you saying
I know you said that we should throw away certain things after a year. Does that also include hand soaps?
Anything you put on your body.
Okay.
Anything you put on your body after 1 year, that's it.
All right, got something to throw away.
Well, what about after Christmas? You go to the Bath and Body. Bath and Body, you buy all that stuff, and you save it for maybe to gift to someone, put in a little gift basket. We're always doing things. See, I don't know. I think that's saving money. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I understand where you're coming from, because after you go to the half price sale afterwards. Yes. And you save it, but just think about things that you're buying for yourself. You're only buying for a year. right? And
Yeah.
that makes sense for the hand soap.
Yeah.
And decide what you're buying for others. If, you know, tell yourself, what do you need to buy? How many birthdays and stuff you have coming up until the sale next January?
Yeah, you're right. You're
Right?
right.
Because next January, you're going to go back again.
And buy,
I
yeah.
know exactly what you're talking about. After birthday sales are great.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I hear you.
Oh my goodness. Anyone else? Comments?
I
Let me
would like
see.
to
I got an
say,
email. Oh, Anna, thank you. I got your email. Everybody that registered on the event, I have your email, so I'll get
Yes.
it out to you.
okay,
Yes.
I think Sister Holloway was getting ready to say something.
I just enjoyed everything. I love antique furniture. And when I see something antique, I say, oh boy, I need to get that. And I have it up in the attic, over the car garage. And some things, you know, I try to put in the closet. Next week, the yard sale, the Goodwill is gone.
Yeah.
I want to say to Miss Olga, it was just beautiful.
It
I'm
was.
so glad that I was able to get on. You know, one time I thought I had a little problem. I was calling Sister Magnolia to see what do I do to get the passcode. Then I said to my son, I was doing something else, call her. He said, Mama, who's M. Brown? And I said, call it. And then I'm in the bathroom that I had my husband working with. I love beautiful things, but you know, too much of beauty is no good.
Yeah.
For no
That's
one.
true.
So, you know,
True.
and over clothes, I have gained weight, and I think, oh boy, I gotta lose weight. Seeing I could put on a couple pounds. So, you know, I said, ooh, I paid all this money from Saks and Nordstrom, and I can't get rid of this. But it's
Yeah.
so good.
I'm
hanging
guilty
in the
too.
closet.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'm guilty.
Me
So
too.
start little by little. Don't think about everything that you have.
Yeah.
Just start with one space, one corner, one drawer. That is the
Yeah.
most important thing. Otherwise, people get
I
overwhelmed.
don't have
and then-
corners. All my corners almost filled up.
Me too.
I have to empty the corner.
And you know what we do, right? We'll clean a space out, and then next thing you know, we're
It's full up.
stuffing something else right back into it.
Yeah.
And we just mail magazines. We just got to
Yeah.
get rid of that stuff
Yeah.
as soon as we possibly can, because we can. Oh my goodness! It's
Yeah.
it's
Becomes
not good.
clutter.
Well,
It's
guess
not
what? You
good.
have a center of your room nice and clear so you can walk through, right?
Yes,
Yes. If it's not the corner, then it's a center. Trust me, any excuses you have for me
I
today,
know.
they're not
Yeah.
working. They're
Not working. Yeah.
I know. I
Olga?
know.
Olga,
Yes.
you had a container, a tall container with different shelving, and one of them was receipts and different types of paper.
Mhm.
Okay, so after you do that, how often do you clean that?
See, you know what? Once a year or so, because I do have I have a storage cabinet here. But you know, the problem with these is they get full at some point, right? You have to go through them. And what I decided is I do more scanning than anything else. I use, like, if you have Gmail, you have access to 15 gigabytes of Google Drive. And Google Drive is a virtual filing cabinet. You can fit a lot of things in your virtual cabinet than you can in your physical filing cabinet. And if you can get an inexpensive scanner and scan documents this way you never lose them, right? Because if paper gets damaged or you spill something, you lose that receipt. You can also get free apps on your phone that you can scan something or even just take a picture of it and then you can store it on your phone.
Yeah.
You know, so, but I kind of get into the tax preparation mode around January and February. So set yourself a reminder on your calendar to go through my filing cabinet in February. As you're preparing all your paperwork for your taxes for the year prior, go through all of your folders. Is this something that you still need? Can I just scan it and get rid of a physical paper? That's
Mm.
kind of where I am in that clearing out mode and paper mode when I'm going through all my papers and getting all my stuff ready for my account.
Mhm.
Now, Olga, I'm thinking, I have two nieces on the line tonight, and they
Mhm.
have young children. One is 6 years old, and the other one, correct me, Niecy, is that eight? Is Olivia 8?
She's
So
9.
10. Okay, so they are always accumulating clothes.
Mhm.
What advice, what tips would you give these young mothers here, for decluttering for the baby? Is it the same thing for us, for them?
So what I remember when my oldest daughter was young and I knew I was going to have another one, then I kept everything in totes for the
Mm.
second child. As soon as I said, okay, I'm done, I have my 2 kids, I'm good. Then after that, I would ask any of my friends that wanted clothes, or I would put them out on Facebook Marketplace, and then I just donated everything.
Mhm.
I didn't keep anything. Because it's just so much. They grow out of clothes so quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. That's awesome
Mhm.
answer. That's what I do. I give all of her clothes away.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ah,
You know
yeah.
what? There are so many people in need. If you really
Yeah.
want to make it count, you can always contact the local women's shelter and ask if there's anybody that has any children that might need their clothes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
True.
Mhm.
Yeah. Very good. Mm.
Olga,
This
I
was
just want to
great.
say this has been a fantastic workshop.
Mhm.
So helpful.
Yes.
God has certainly gave you a good ministry
Mhm.
to help others because you have certainly helped me with a lot this evening. And I
Mhm.
appreciate it. And I
Of
know
course.
the other ladies do too.
Yeah, I
Yes,
definitely do.
yes.
Mhm.
I think all of us want to make our lives a little bit easier. We all have a lot
Yes.
of stuff on our plates,
Mhm.
and stuff doesn't help us. I think
Yeah.
it only just gives us more weight on our shoulders, and we have enough
Mhm,
to carry.
mhm.
Yeah.
It really does. Olga, help me out because we have another workshop coming up, and this one is about helping people to avoid being scammed.
Mhm.
And you know, a whole bunch of folks, especially senior citizens, get scammed really bad, every day.
Mhm.
And so we have another workshop coming up. Oh, what date did I give you for that?
It's in September.
Okay. Let me tell them right now so they can have their calendars all fixed up.
Let me see, September. Hold on, I'll tell you. I have it on my Google Calendar.
Okay.
See,
But
I'm one of the old timers. I still have a little physical planner that I use, which is what
mhm.
I prefer. But you know what the problem with this paper planner? It doesn't remind me on things unless I open it.
Mhm.
So that's where the technology does come in.
Well,
Uh,
don't worry about it because sometimes I have my phone, I put it in my phone and still forget it. So
Okay,
while
that's on the 29th of September.
okay, so if I could get you all to just jot that down, the
Mhm.
29th of September, we will have another workshop, and this was going to deal with scams.
Mhm.
That is a $1 billion business. I mean, you wouldn't believe how people are scammed out of their monies, out of their
Yeah.
homes. I mean, life insurance, you name it, and
Mhm.
people are scam, even their own home. You know, when you
Mhm.
scam a person at their home, you know you're a scammer. So I want you to write that down. It would be at 7 o'clock.
Mhm.
That's a Friday night.
Mhm.
So please put that on your calendar and plan to be with us. We don't want you to miss it. And then Olga's gonna come back at another time. We haven't set that up. And she's gonna really take us through how to organize a kitchen.
Mm.
You know, that's our spot, the kitchen.
Mm.
I don't know about you all, but let me tell you, that's a big place for me.
Ah,
Kitchen.
yeah, who are my big cooks? Who likes to cook?
Not me.
No, Magnolia, it's just you and I.
Mm-mm. Nope. I like to
Reverend
eat.
Oh,
Brandon,
okay, good.
Reverend Brandon like to cook.
Mm-mm.
It's like the refrigerator just keeps calling me, you know.
Mm-mm.
So so we're gonna have that. We haven't set the date up for that, but we want you to put on your calendar 7 o'clock on September the 29th.
29th.
We're gonna talk about how to avoid from being scammed.
Mm-hmm.
And if we could keep getting Olga to come to us with all this valuable information, she's given us a beautiful list of workshops, and we want the workshops to be utilized.
Mm-hmm.
We're not paying her for it, but we do want to say thank you. We do want to promote her.
Mm-hmm.
Really want to promote Olga. We want to promote what she's all about, because it helps us.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want you to tell other people,
Yes.
so that they will be ready to jump on. And you know what? We're going to share some information that we learned tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Madam President, you still with us? Did we lose?
No,
She's
I'm
here.
here. Yes, I
Okay.
am.
But
Yes, I am.
she almost did a retreat there. We worked that thing a different way. She would have done a retreat. So
Yes.
but we definitely want to pass this information along, and we do want to spread it to the sisterhood, so that they will be able to spread it to their churches,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a shame the way people are scammed out, and it's a shame that we have so much stuff in our homes that somebody else can use that we no longer are using or can't use. Like, I'm thankful she told me about when I need to get rid of the makeup, when I need to get rid of the soaps, the lotion, and even the toothpaste. That's something we don't even pay attention to. We don't pay attention to the expiration dates on these things. We really don't. And we're just constantly using these things over and over.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe wondering why our skin will break out sometimes.
You know what I discovered recently that I didn't put in my workshop, but there are codes that you can read on lotions and some of the other products that doesn't have expiration date. So what I did was recently I was in Marshall's with my daughters, and they were looking at the lotions and the makeup in there. And you know what? I was like, oh, I like a Vino lotion. That's what I use.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? They had some full bottles at Marshall's. I was like, you know, well, let me check it out. So I actually put in the code that was on the Aveeno bottle. And I think that bottle was 2 years old. And the reason why it was at Marshall's was because it was a discontinued bottle that some store did not sell. Just like clothes, they, the Marshall buys stuff in bulk from
Marshall,
other stores.
Mm-hmm.
So all the makeup and the lotions and potions that you see in Marshalls and TJ Maxx, all that stuff there's a very good possibility that it's discontinued, which means it's probably old stuff. So I told my daughters, I was like, we're not buying personal care items from Marshalls anymore, because it's just old and it's not good for them.
Well, see, I didn't even know that.
Discount. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I never would have. I know that they take stuff from other stores and stuff, but I never thought that they would have something in there. So what happens is we look on the container, on the box, and there's a code. So we put that code in, and it'll give us that information.
Yeah, you can just put in the Google. You can say, like, for example, like Aveeno production code.
Okay.
Right? Because what it doesn't say, like, on the for our groceries, it says expiration and you actually have a date, which is nice and simple for us to understand. But on other products where they're not required to put an expiration date, they just put a manufacturing code, right? That they can then track that product for. So that's what I did. I typed in, I did Aveeno production code date. And then they another website popped up from Aveeno, and I typed in the code, and it actually told me the manufacturing date for that particular product. And that's when I realized that it was like 2 years old, and it said it's discontinued. And I was like, not for me.
We don't learn something. We don't learn something here.
When there's no requirement to display a expiration date.
Yeah.
Most manufacturers don't, because then they can continue selling that product for years.
Right,
Right?
right.
They think it's still good enough for people, and
Yeah,
it's
wow.
yeah.
Wow. Eesh. Mm.
That was one of my
Ooh.
newest learning experiences that I
Mhm.
recently had, and that was
Mhm.
just something definitely an eye opener.
Was good.
Oh,
Mhm.
goodness. Well, see, now we done learned something else.
Mhm.
We have learned something else, and I know we're gonna share it. We're gonna
Mhm.
tell others about it, because we don't want them to be out there spending their good money and buying stuff that's already outdated or expired.
Yeah.
You know,
So
this
we
is
want
why
to
I
let
like
y'all know.
this is why I like Aldi. Anybody else shop at Aldi?
I do.
I do.
If you think about it, their stores are small for a reason. They
Mm.
have small inventory, which means that it rotates faster,
Goes
which means
fast.
that they bring in fresh products on a regular basis. Their trucks come in, I think, every twice a week, which
But
means that
they,
the
but Miss Olga, they don't have enough help. You stand in line for a long time.
You know
I
what?
don't see.
A lot of those stores are starting to get self-checkouts, just like you have in
Well,
grocery stores.
okay, yeah.
Well, it's coming. So you
Yeah,
can,
I haven't seen any yet. Yeah, I just can't standing in line
it's
for,
coming.
yeah, for one or two
Yeah, be
items. I'm like, because I
purchasing.
don't shop there. If I get the flyer, I see what I want, I go and pick it up. But then I said, oh shoot, no, this is too much. I can't do this. Yeah,
It's
can't do
coming.
this.
It's
Yeah,
coming.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
You're
one.
right. You're probably right. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Are there
Well,
any other
ladies,
comments,
I was
questions?
just gonna say, I thank you. It has been quite interesting. I love it. I got some good tidbits. I already marked September 29th,
Yeah.
Goodwill. That happens to be around my daughter's birthday, so we'll see what she has planned. But if God willing, I will be in attendance on that. And Olga, I thank you so very
Yes.
much. Sister Magnolia, thank you very much
Yes.
for the opportunity to come together on this evening. And thanks, Sister Brenda Wilson as well,
Yes.
Madam
Because
President.
she's heading to a funeral. Her uncle died,
Oh,
and so
yeah.
she's on her way to a funeral. That's the reason why she really couldn't get on. She tried, but she couldn't get on.
Okay. And Sister Holloway, it was nice seeing you. And it's
Nice
always great
seeing
seeing
you
all
and
of my
nice seeing
sisters.
you
God
all.
bless ya.
Yes.
I
Okay.
just
Thank
wrote that
you.
date on my
Thank you,
calendar.
everyone. Have a great weekend, and hopefully I'll see you soon again, okay?
Yes.
Madam
Okay,
President,
All
Madam
right.
President.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
I get that on my email, right?
Yes, ma'am. We'll be in
Okay.
Yeah.
touch. Bye-bye.
Yes. Definitely.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good night. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you,
Good night.
Magnolia.